From a trail of burning gasoline on a busy road in China and a massive sinkhole in Guangdong province that swallowed a truck and a scooter, to a truck driver in Texas who watched his rig get obliterated by a speeding train, and a fireball in Russia that nearly engulfed the Maoming, China is a prefecture-level city in Guangdong province. They're among the world's largest exporters of refined oil, so their fire department is always on high alert in case something goes wrong. They had to spring into action on March 22nd of 2022, but it was nowhere near the oil plant. A commuter was driving downtown when their gas tank began leaking. All it took was a tiny spark to ignite a trail of fire on the road. Something ignites under the car, causing the pool of gas behind them to catch. Then, the driver pulls forward, possibly unaware that their car is on fire. They leave a trail of fire behind them and don't stop until they see it on their hood. The door opens as our dashcam passes. We assume the driver ran as far away as possible. 2 trucks and 12 firefighters showed up to extinguish the fire. For a moment, it looks like they're having trouble getting the hood up. The fire must have melted the release hook. Thankfully, nobody was hurt when the gas slick caught fire. We're not sure how it started or what caused the leak in the first place. If you drive about 25 miles northeast of San Antonio, you'll stumble upon the small city of Cibolo, Texas. They're home to about 32,000 people and an Amtrak line running from LA to New Orleans. But on February 27th of 2020, those riding the train needed to find an alternate route. Chris Schlein was on his way to work when he saw an 18-wheeler stuck on the tracks. When the crossing arms came down, he knew this was his chance to capture something amazing on film.
So this truck got stuck on the railroad. Now the railroad things are coming. Here he comes. Oh. 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 That's why you don't crossings. Holy shit.
Truck drivers aren't human GPSs. They rely on their dispatchers to plan the quickest, safest, and most fuel-efficient route. When the police arrived, the driver blamed dispatch for sending him over the train tracks. They were too high, and his truck bottomed out. Meanwhile, there were 116 passengers on the train when it smacked into the truck. Luckily, nobody was hurt during the accident. Whenever you see a truck stuck on the railroad, it's usually because of low ground clearance. The raised track caused the truck to bottom out, and there's no moving it until the train comes. When you picture Santa Barbara, California, you probably think of sunny beaches and perfect weather. Well, not everything is sunshine and rainbows in Southern Cali. Just ask this local woman who caught a violent microburst storm on camera. September 3rd of 2017 began as another sunny day. In fact, many locals flocked to the beach to escape a recent heat wave. But then, the storm came out of nowhere. All of a sudden, people were holding on for dear life. Qinghai is the largest Chinese province by area, but the 3rd smallest by population. Most of that area is full of tall, uninhabitable mountains. But that didn't stop people from building roads along the cliffs. On August 1st of 2015, someone noticed a loose boulder overlooking one of those highways. Several days of heavy rain had weakened the mountainside. Tiny landslides occurred here and there, but they were waiting for the big one. Then, the big one finally came. Look at the giant crack in the mountain before it collapses. Kudos to those workers who held their ground to record the landslide. We would have been running in the opposite direction. These types of landslides are common in China. Rain soaks into the soil and causes little slips and cracks. Eventually, those culminate in massive rock slides, like the one we see here. Thankfully, nobody was hurt when the mountain collapsed. Crews worked as quickly as possible to reopen the road. Lianyungang, China, is a prefecture-level city in Jiangsu province. It's home to about 4.5 million people and one unlucky truck driver. On September 16th of 2017, workers at a highway toll station saw a massive cloud of smoke on the horizon. They realized what was happening when the source drove around the bend. An empty cement truck caught fire somewhere along the highway. But instead of pulling over and running away, the driver kept going toward the toll booth. CCTV cameras captured him driving through. You can see bits of flaming debris falling off the truck. Then, the camera fills with smoke. Another angle shows the truck passing through the toll station. It finally stops, and the toll workers rush out with fire extinguishers. You can see where the wheels are burnt to a crisp. According to reports, the driver's tires caught fire somewhere on the highway. He didn't want to risk damaging the road, so he drove through the toll booth and asked for help. It seems like that choice put more people at risk. Thankfully, nobody got hurt, and the only damage was to the truck. Mias, Russia, is a truck-making city near the Ural Mountains. On July 20th of 2014, a heavy rainstorm put those trucks to the test when it made the highway extra slippery. A locally happened, so let's pose a hypothetical scenario. The rain made the road extra slippery. At the start of the video, you can see where the first truck drove off the road and flipped near the trees. Another car is stopped ahead, perhaps trying to help. That's when the second 18-wheeler veers right to avoid the silver car in the oncoming lane. We're thinking they slowed down to look at the crash and the truck couldn't stop. The same thing happened to the tanker, which swerved to avoid another slow driver. Then, boom, fireball. The Xinjiang Autonomous Region in northeastern China can get pretty cold. Winter temperatures can easily drop to -4 degrees Fahrenheit. In the county-level city of Wujiachu, a family learned why you shouldn't drive on frozen lakes. A husband, his wife, and his mother-in-law drove out to a frozen lake in the middle of nowhere. The women didn't feel too safe, but the husband assured them it was fine. He even pointed to tire tracks as proof that other people had driven out here. In the end, he should have listened to his wife.
可怜的霸道车主啊，昨天飞口发来了，车塌到冰里面了，到现在还没有捞出来。
As the story goes, they were taking a shortcut across the frozen reservoir. The husband tried following the other tire tracks, but he skidded left onto thinner ice. It cracked, and their car began sinking. Thankfully, everyone made it out of the car and back on dry land. By the time rescue crews arrived, their car was frozen solid. It was so cold that the ice refroze around the car. Zhao He is the reservoir director. He said it's too difficult to stop people from trying to cross the frozen lake as a shortcut. There are simply too many access points to cover. About 75 miles north of Hong Kong sits the prefecture-level city of Guangzhou, China. Its 2,200-year history dates back to the Qin dynasty. Today, it's among China's largest cities and home to about 18.6 million people. But tragedy struck on December 1st of 2019 when a massive sinkhole opened in the middle of a busy intersection. The initial collapse was wide enough to swallow a sanitation truck and a motorbike. Then, it just kept getting bigger. The sinkhole grew over 100 feet. Then, a burst pipe quickly filled the pit with muddy water. This made rescuing the 3 people trapped inside very difficult. A father and his newlywed son were stuck in the truck when it fell in. The man's wife said her husband replaced her on the job because she was pregnant. When she asked how the rescue was going, the response broke her heart. Workers said they were filling the hole to keep it from expanding. Some reporting claims that Chinese officials decided to fill the hole instead of rescuing those inside. Allegedly, the wife was put under house arrest in a hotel while they poured the concrete. When news leaked, protesters gathered near the worksite to express their frustration. The Russian city of Rostov-on-Don is an important trading hub in southwestern Russia. It's located on the Sea of Azov and follows shipping routes toward the Atlantic Ocean. So, as you can imagine, trucks are constantly coming and going. Traffic jams on the highway can really slow things down. Explosions make things even worse. One Russian driver narrowly escaped with his life when a flaming car in the opposite lane suddenly detonated.
Все стало. Пиздос. Надо валить быстрее, ёбаный в рот. Вот это жесть. И побились все. Вот это черт подъери. Горит машина. Глянь же, ткач, машина загорелась. Вот это пиздец. Нихуя себе, блядь.
According to Russian reports, a 10-car pileup completely blocked traffic on the M4 highway heading into the city. We assume the wintry conditions caused someone to crash, which set off a chain reaction. However, we're not sure what caused that one car to explode. Judging by the frame-by-frame, it looks like a smaller box truck. They may have been carrying something flammable that ignited during the crash. Wuhan, China is the largest and most populated city in Hubei province. It's home to about 11 million people and a sewage system full of methane. On May 20th of 2021, 2 workers crouched by an open manhole for some routine maintenance. They were there to fix a water pipe when something didn't sound right. A massive column of fire erupts from the manhole as a scooter drives by. The workers flee and the entire road basically burps. The man on his bike took a nasty tumble, but he was reportedly okay. In slow motion, you can see dust shoot out from the cracks in the road. The burp was strong enough to lift the asphalt several feet off the ground. Another angle shows people on the sidewalk running when they see the explosion. According to Chinese officials, there was a buildup of methane gas in the sewer. They never said what ignited it, though. Residents heard a loud bang, and a local shop owner rushed to help the man who flew off his scooter. Thankfully, everyone walked away without life-threatening injuries. If you enjoyed this video and want to see another just like it, then be sure to click the link on screen now. As always, thanks for watching, and be sure to tune in next time.